Thanks, Andrew, for your patience. Next up, we have Andrew Thomson from Palamina. You're going to take us through your project in Peru. Oh,
sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. No, that's fine. It's good. Yep. Good morning, everybody. My name is Andrew Thomson. I'm the president of Palamina Corp. The photo that you're looking at now is we started an inaugural drill program that was taken in August, and really it's just to show you the terrain. We're using a man-portable drill with elevation, and we have an all-Peruvian team. So I will be making forward-looking statements. So my interest in Peru stems from wanting to find a big gold deposit. I defined a 77 million ounce silver deposit and sold the company to Agnico. They spun us out Palamina. So I flew down to Peru in 2017. We had about 2 million in the treasury. I met with a group of geologists that had been part of a company called Minera IRL. They had defined a 1.2 million ounce deposit over 80,000 meters. They explained to me that there was this modern day gold rush underway. They had just been let go. Within 2 months, we hired the entire team, and I staked 60,000 hectares, so I was pretty aggressive. So from that time to now, I'm going to update you on what we've accomplished. So to start, the modern day gold rush is very significant. If you look at the two red eggs that are on the map there, Pataz has about 40 million ounces. It's well established. And the Puno Orogenic Belt in southeastern Peru is less established, yet it's 3 times the size. And it's primarily cooperatives and informal mining that's been going on, where they're mining the top 35 meters. So where you see Madre de Dios, that's in the valley on the other north of the Andes, in a basin. They're now, in the last year, it's gone up 10,000 informal miners. So it's up to 45,000. It's 1,900 square kilometers, 35-meter deep pits. It's a very significant undertaking. The Mucamayo area, which is the picture with those little houses, that's gone from 1,300 to 1,900 people in the last year. In British terms, it's 3 soccer fields, so it's a fairly significant, it's all driven by access and the price of gold. La Rinconada, which is at the top, it's the smallest star at the top of the range there. It's about 10 to 15 million ounces. It's been mined for centuries. It's Amparo. They get paid a bag of gold a month, and they've moved to Glacier. And again, the only reason they're at 5,200 meters is to mine gold. It's all black shale with quartz. That's what we're looking for. And what you're looking at is the women that climb up onto the waste rock pile at the end of every day and start through. There's no electricity there. It's all, so it's quite an interesting project. But so this is what intrigued me and the group that we met. So looking at this, the 2 yellow areas, those are the ones that are being drilled that we're participating now. I've, since 2017, acquired 7 projects, one of which has been sold to Windshear Gold in blue. They're also drilling. They've just completed 4 holes. But all of this is being driven by, there's a serrated line that goes from the bottom of the screen to the top. That's the Intercontinental Highway that goes from the Porto Velho to Brazil. The gray is the orogenic zone, and off the page to the north is the alluvial gold field. So we now have 7 projects, the 6 red stars in the Puno Orogenic Belt, so we're calling that our land bank of gold projects. There's also 3 projects. Juliaca is where our field office is. It's about 3.5 hours south of our main flagship project, Usicayos. And then there's the 3 projects in the south, which are copper, silver, copper, precious metal plays. So those are now being spun out into another vehicle, and I'll talk about that shortly. So this is our main project, Usicayos. The idea here is that that shear zone, you see the blue shear zone running through, is the main driver of mineralization in the Ananea rock, which is the beige unit. Gold mining purchased Crucero. It's a 2 million ounce deposit in the flank of our Usicayos. The Panorama play, that was held by Minsur. When they dropped the ground, we staked it. It's an extension to that deposit. But really, what we're focused on now is that sort of pink butterfly that's south of the main shear zone. There's all sorts of shears in there. And we're just in the process of starting to drill in that area. So this is a blow up of that area. What's important is that all the red dots are 10 gram per ton assays. We've had up to 600 grams per ton at surface. The area is 1.5 kilometers by 4.5 kilometers, so a very big system. Right now we're drilling in the Soldero zone, then we're going to drill in the Cayo zone. This is just, I'm not going to go through all the values here, but what's important is that we have a trend on the north that's heading northeast and a trend in the south that's heading northeast as well. And then there's 4 mantles to the right there between them, and that's kind of the bulk tonnage area. So the high grade is in the north and the south. We have 8 visible gold zones, 3 underground, 5 at surface. So it's pretty exciting times. We're moving forward with it at this pace. If you want to know about values, we'll talk about that later. I'm just trying to paint the macro picture. So we started drilling about a month and a half ago. Where you look at Soldero East, that is the bulk tonnage area. Those 3 holes have been completed. We actually lost 2 of the holes. So we had some difficulties in the beginning, but we only tested 2 of the mantles of the 4 mantles, but we did come back with 3 meters of 3.4 grams. We're going to go back there shortly, probably in the new year when we have time. But the Soldero South there is really the main area that we want to talk about. We on the first hole number 4, we had a mineralized intrusive after going through shale. It's significant because Crucero, the 2 million ounce deposit of mineralized intrusive, this was a blind intrusive. We hit it at depth. It's quite extensive. There's lots of sericite. You can see a photo in the top left there. There's actually 5 visible gold zones in holes 4 and 5 where we have sericite. This is what we think this is a magnetics map, so the pinks are the highs. There's where you see Soldero West, the SW, the rig is now sitting there, and we're going to try and prove up a kilometer-long mineralized trend there. We have the results for the 3 holes in the south. We'll be releasing those in the next week and a half. Soldero North at the top there, that's another high-grade area. These sit on, there's what they call a flower structure. So the north dips to the south and the south dips to the north. They meet at depth somewhere where you think that big purple anomaly in the middle is where it's at. So we've now tested all the different high-grade areas. We're now trying to establish a strike on the south, and then after we're done this, we're going to drill the Cayo zone. So it's a pretty exciting time for the company moving forward. We feel pretty strongly that we're into discovery. So now we're talking about the other play that's being drilled. So Windshear Gold, we've ended them the Gaban Gold project, and it's the areas in blue there. There's 2 rivers that run from the top where Oyache is. We're now going down the mountain 30 kilometers. It's the same geology that our teams worked on for both of the projects being drilled. The Santo Domingo mine is to the east. It was the highest grade gold mine at the turn of the 19th century. Both those tributaries, watersheds, drain into the Madre de Dios. So this is kind of what we're looking for. This is from Mucambayo. You can't see it. You can see it after, but it's pretty gold rich. But last year, a prospector pulled out a very significant gold nugget from the property. But what's important is that we've got very serious infrastructure here. There's intercontinental highway. There's a hydroelectric dam that was built more recently. There's bridges to the property where there was a landslide. And we're really focused in the core area, which is in that little, the white line. It almost looks like a coffin, but it's like this. So we feel anything that we find in there is coming off the mountain range. So again, Windshear, we own 15.4% of it. They settled an arbitration last year. I'm on the board. We returned $26 million to shareholders. Palamina got $3.6 million. We still own 15.4% or 4.8 million shares. It's worth about $700,000 to $800,000 right now, where we have 4 holes to release. The holes are being drilled in the Corotiri zone, and so indicators that there's good potential for finding gold. There's an old stamp mill that we found. There's a foundry that we located. There's all sorts of fairly big adits in the Corotiri target area. We're finding, this is a 0.44 kilo nugget that was found in the streams by one of the prospectors where we're drilling above it. So it's a really interesting time in terms of creating value for our shareholders. So the other thing that we've done is Irania are here, Keith Barron. They've spent a fair amount of money in Ecuador. He was responsible for one of the largest gold discoveries, or the largest in South America more recently. They've been looking on the jungle side of the Andes at different deposit types, and they spent a fair amount of money staking in Peru. So we bought the Peruvian corporation. They're really staying focused on Ecuador, and we bought it for the Pluma sedimentary hosted copper deposit. We're now putting in a series of claims that we have the copper precious metal claims, and we've got another subsidiary that we can spin out. And so that's kind of where we're going with it, because it's a good time to have, my view on it is Zambia and Congo are the richest copper countries in Africa, and in the Americas, Chile and Peru are the same. So if you think about it from the beginning of the oil boom in 1905, these are the 4 countries, and Peru also has a great deal of silver. So I'm not focused on porphyry. I've done that. I had a deal with Sumitomo for 14 years. It's a lengthy thing. I'm more focused on high-grade copper, high-grade silver. So this slide, there's a company called Hannon. They're at about a $55 million market cap. They have a deal with Jogmec to earn in for $35 million. They spent about $4 million on their San Martin project. But where you see that's all the projects in blue. Where you see the blue star, that's where they're going to drill. So the green is Cretaceous. The light blue is sedimentary. I picked the only play I kept in the entire package was the play north of where they're going to drill. They're going to drill in the next year. And they're looking for these sedimentary hosted flat, in Africa they run for 160 kilometers, they're high grade, and if they hit, it's a game changer for the company. And again, we're going to spin that company out and have a new company from that. So I'm pretty excited about this. It was an opportunity at the bottom of the market to, again, acquire more ground. So this is the Santa Lucia district. Again, our field office in Juliaca. In the rainy season, we can't operate in the belt, so we started in this area. Again, I defined a fairly large silver deposit the last round, so we picked up the Galena property. We acquired all the internal claims. We've done a fair amount of work on it. And at the same time, we started to understand the district. So the yellow is Barrick. They've got a very large position right now in this area of Peru, and they're very active. The black, which you really can't see here, but that's Fresnillo. They're trying to pick up what's the porphyry trend. Aftermath, who are here, they just raised $50 million from Eric Sprott. It's a manganese production play, but there's 40 million tons of high-grade copper silver. And so he, as you know, is a silver bug. So he's, everybody's wanting copper, precious metal, and again, Peru's the place to be. In the green there, that's Ivanhoe. And so they just bought that from Kaizen. They did a deep-seated IP program. They're I'm forgetting it. Anyhow, they just did that program. Some of the anomalies came up when we staked them. So this, again, is just a package of properties that we feel is going to be significant with a lot of discovery in the next 2 years. So in terms of the team, there's myself. I've done 2 corporates. I've had some good, we just announced another arbitration win yesterday where we got $38 million Canadian in a company called Montero. So I've actually had a pretty good run in the bottom of this market. Sean Spraggett, he was with Norsemont. They sold their company for $500 million to Hudbay. Alistair Waddell, Alvaro, and Jerry were all part of G10, where Alistair was in this belt with Chris Lauder for the Puno Orogenic Belt for 3 years. He has 2 heads of arrangement with Newmont, has numerous companies. My CFO, Michael Ferrant, and Hal Stewart. Hal Stewart from Palmarejo, a silver deposit in Mexico that's one of Coeur's main plays. They had Puno Gold. Quinton Henning took it out in the Santa Lucia district. So again, they're very familiar with that area. Jose Vizqueta Benavides, he's part of the Buenaventura family. They're a large Peruvian mining company. He's also part of a Cisco. They just had a win with a Vendout. He runs 03. Phil Walford, I've been involved with Phil for some time. We've been in the same office. That was Marathon Gold that just got taken out, a 6 million plus ounce orogenic play. He's helping spot the holes. So again, a huge wealth of experience. But the guy that's the most important is Yuri Valdivieso. He was the guy on the ground who has 20 years experience in the belt, and he drilled off 1.2 million ounces. So again, just a wealth of experience in terms of running junior companies. So this is the structure of the company. Since 2015, there's 71 million shares out. That 1.7 is about 900,000 in cash. We are going to need to finance, but I'm going to wait till all the drill results from Windshear and Palamina. I own 14.5%. My wife owns a bit more. She's a radiologist, but we have a substantial position. I've put in over $2.5 million. Eric Sprott's put in $2 million for 12.3. Ernesto Jeff and his cousin own another 30%. So on that 70 million, about 15 million trades. So it's very tight. So just to wrap up, we have this land bank of gold projects that we're moving forward. We talk about the other plays when I come to our booth. We have the copper silver plays that we're putting into Vicus, the new corporation that we're likely going to spin out. We hold a equity interest and a royalty on Windshear Gold and their Gaban project. And so we're really in the drill discovery phase to create value. anyhow, thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, please direct them to me.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. And I have put some, there's a 2-page handout in German if you want it. It's on the back table there. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
One question from
Sure.
me, Andrew. You took a bit of hit on the recent drill results.
Yes.
Can you speak to what happened there a bit?
Yeah, so when we started, there was the night drill crew were not so good, and we lost 2 of the holes. So we were testing 4 mantos. We hit 60 meters of 0.2. We hit gold. We've now hit gold in every hole. They're first 3 holes of the program testing the bulk tonnage zone, not the high-grade areas. So in that flower structure, the southeast zone is a north trending 800-meter zone. We have to go back and drill, but we didn't get through the second mantos of the 4 mantos. So it was a bit frustrating. We did a bulk sampling there of 20 kilos that came back at 3.5 grams. That's the reason we started there, and the camp's there. So we were trying to get everything before the rainy season. We did get visible gold in the lower zone. We haven't announced that, so I didn't think we would. I see everything as being positive, but we have one shareholder who got irritated and unloaded 2 million shares in a day and a half. Okay. I'm blacked out, or I'd be in there. But
right.
I'm not. This is a long-term game, and we're sort of, this tax loss ceiling is a little bit different because we've got what I call the Bitcoin phenomenon, where I think Bitcoin is a magnet that'll pull the price of gold up. We're seeing that, and we just got this temporary thing. But we've got, between the 2 companies, we've got 10 drill holes to announce. So I'm not really that worried about it. All right?
Okay. Any questions from the audience?
Okay, we're good.
Okay. If anybody has any questions, you're in room
16.
16. Okay.
Yep. Okay, thanks,
Andrew.
Thank you.
Don't forget your rock.